Capricorn.
Hey Capricorn, this is your May forecast for 2014, and so we are dealing with a hangover from April, and you might even be listening to this forecast on the April end, so you might still be smack in the middle of all the changes that are taking place. And as we enter into May, well, this grand square is still active. It's still working somewhat, and we are birthing ourselves. And consider yourself as being the uterus of the universe as planet Earth, and everybody in it are under the same influences. So it's not just you and me, but everybody else here. And it's exciting. Why? Because when delivery is done from the labor, well, that is when we celebrate, right? But sure, there's going to be a little twisting and tweaking going on, and you've been feeling this for a while. And all of these processes started there last autumn, and it's been increasing. The energy has been increasing to the point that, well, we can probably start looking at delivery is setting you guys free here now this month. Many of you, anyway. And your areas that are mainly focused upon here in your chart is your career versus the home, and guilt, whether you're too much at work or too little at home, or vice versa, and how much do you give your ambition. And you are very ambitious, you know, being Capricorn. This is what you love to do. You climb, and for you, you won't stop. You know, at the bottom and the middle, you got to get to the top. And Mars, thank God, is in this 10th house for career, and it's giving you a plentiful time to give you the boost to get to where you want to go. And so Mars is going to be very active here this month, and it is going to liberate things, and it's going to set you free. And I think the burst of what is coming is definitely something that's going to be marking you for a long, long time to come. So don't give up now. And I know that a few of you can feel tired, okay, weary after all of this. But, you know, this is the time when we really want to step it up. It's that last mile home. That's always the longest one, right? But Pluto here, see, also can be an engine booster for you, even though they're squaring up. And Pluto's squaring up here with Uranus too, so it might feel very frustrating. However, though, if we turn it around and look at how can we use this energy in a constructive way, and when you do that and you come up with your creative solutions, see, Pluto here in your first house, yes, you are a powerhouse, and you might come across very powerful to those that you interact with, you know, or they might be very powerful with you, and their waves, maybe they are the ones that's putting a whole lot of extra burden or expectations upon you, and that's not always, you know, very welcomed when people try to rule or force, you know, if they're throwing it onto you. But just make sure, though, that at this time specifically, that you're not coming across too feisty either, because then we're pushing away when in all reality what you're really trying to do is control the situation and reel it in. So if you're wanting to reel it in, be careful. Do not push by pushing a little too hard. Can't control the others if they're pushing you, but you can set some limitations, and for that, Pluto can be very good, and your friend to say enough is enough. I'm not doing this no more. So that can free you up if you feel that there's been too harsh of controlling energies in your life. Now, Uranus in the home environment, you've been working on this as well, how to liberate certain energies, or perhaps also responsibilities. How can you free up this area? And yes, it is pertaining to your past, you know, where you've been, but you're changing. Your whole personality is changing. You know, that's Pluto in the first house doing that. And as you're changing, well, your grounds, your foundation is changing along with it. So some of you Capricornians can come to see that from what you are doing today in your career will have a direct effect on where you live, how you live, and probably all in due time now, it might want to expand where you live. So real estate can become important. If not just right now this month, you might be starting to think up things, looking at areas, but it could in fact become a little bit more vital here later on this summer. But Venus, see here now, it has been in the 3rd house for communication here in April. So there's been lively talks, you know, happy talks as well, and sensitive. Venus in Pisces is a spiritual sign, and it's very creative. So you might have mingled with a lot of creative individuals here in April, and you might have that just the very couple of first days of May, but then your Venus will move out of Pisces and the 3rd house into Aries and the 4th house. So this is where you're going to be putting down a much more focus. Here this month you get to have Venus in the area of home and family only 1 month a year. This is the month where you can focus and give the most attention. The Sun and Mercury is in your 5th house for creativity and joy and leisure and hanging a little loose. This would be a great time for those of you who are able to take vacation, and if you don't have time, I'd suggest that you make time just because this area also you only get for 1 month a year. And for you, May is always the best time of year to take vacation. When the Sun transits through this area, you will just benefit from it that much more because it loosens you up. It takes your mind off of career and responsibilities. And we know, Capricorn, that you are always overly concerned with coming across as a responsible person, following up, following through. You know, you put that weight on yourself because you're ruled by Saturn, right? So when the Sun goes into your 5th house, it allows you to free up a little bit and bring the inner child out to play. So try to at least get a weekend if you can't do more, but this month should be great for it and with your loved one, because it's also the house of romance. And if you're single, well, hey, you know, it's time to go out there, and hopefully you can attract and meet somebody very exciting to you here throughout May. Mercury's also in the sign, so it talks about creative projects, working up new ideas, for example. Great time to do that as well. And we're also looking at values because it's cruising through the sign of Taurus. And Taurus likes, you know, good foods, good wines, everything here with high quality. And so you might just be, you know, being in that mode where you just want to purchase something that you can, you know, make you feel good about you. You deserve it, you know. So yes, great time to hang loose. Now we have the moon, the new moon, that is in your 6th house for day-to-day routines, health, dieting, working out, seeing how you can make a better efficiency from day to day in your schedules. So that will be here at the 28th of May. So that's late month, but just put it on your calendar though, because this is the time that we really want to put in those new moon intentions, as we only get to do it once a year. And this is when you can catch up with and clear out the closets, clear out your desk, and have it set, you know, for the next 12 months, okay? And plus the intention of saying, I'm going to promise myself to at least clear it deeply, my desk and everything, once a month. Then we have Jupiter, 7th house. So yes, Jupiter is still working on your committed relationship. For those of you who are married, for those of you single, well, Jupiter is still trying to bring somebody into your life that can have this beautiful influence of what Jupiter gives. It's generous, it's understanding, it's giving, both ways, both what you are giving to your partner, but also what your partner is giving to you. Now, normally, this is one of the best places for Jupiter to be when we look at relationships, marriages, soulmates, twin flames, all that. But Jupiter is being a little challenged, so some of you might just feel that you've been taken here that Jupiter hasn't really delivered all the goods that it normally can do as it's been in the sign of Cancer, but that's not Jupiter's fault. It is because Pluto is on this other end, you know, so it's tugging at it, and then we've had Mars, Uranus also stretching on it here, creating this tension over to Jupiter. But, you know, is that a loss? Not really. On the surface, yes, we can feel perhaps that's true because we haven't really seen this huge wave, the tidal wave of generosity and all the good things that Jupiter represents. However, though, what it has done, it's given you a great life lesson. And so ask yourself, you know, it's like, what have I learned this last year? Where have I learned to be extra generous in spite of time crunching and outer circumstances and people getting in the way and whatever, you know? So you have grown and expanded on the inside. There's so much there that if you start asking yourself those questions, you'll be amazed to see just exactly how much Jupiter has given you generously on a different level, or also, of course, your partner as well. Both of you have grown here because of the tensions, but it's only in the aftermath you will actually see that, you know, a few years ahead, looking back at 2014, say 2013, 2014, you'll say, wow, that was the year of tremendous change. So then we have Mars, like I said, 10th house career. So Mars is doing its magic there to July 25th. You know, you've been given a grace of 7 extra months to perfect your career, giving it your all, and so you're still doing it, and results will be shown, Capricorn. Then we have Saturn up in the 11th house for your social contacts, friends. You might still feel that you've been too preoccupied, too busy, life calling upon you on all other stages than circulating with friends. And that's sad. I see you miss them, they miss you, but everybody's in understanding that you are just busy, busy, busy. We have the full moon coming here in this area on the 14th, and it will be passing by right here over Saturn. So there might be some news, special news coming to you from somebody within their circle of friends, or also it could be within some group or organization that you've been working either with or for, a foundation. In that case, well, this should be illuminated as at one level an accomplishment for you, but there can be more than one strand of news coming in. And some of this is serious though, because it's deeply felt. So you'll see, have to wait and see what that is going to bring for you on the 14th. So let's see what we have here at top of the month. We got Mercury and Saturn having some discussions. Mercury is wanting to look at the fabric of what this conversation or deal or option or opportunity that's given to you on this day, and you might not make a decision right away, only because Saturn is saying here, I want to check this out. I want to verify it first. Then we have Venus moving out of your 3rd house into the house, 4th house of family. And so that's going to be illuminating there for a month. We have the Sun and Pluto coming together here with a golden trine. So on the 4th, this is you getting your energy up and also being able to pierce through on something. So laser sharp focus on this day coming to you here in the creative fields, okay? So if you're waiting for a green light, this would be it. So is the 6th, when Jupiter also is coming up with a beautiful beam from Jupiter. Jupiter then being in your 7th house, so some partnership, some creativity. For those of you who have children, there might be great news for them. Maybe they're having some exams and they will do extremely well. On the 7th, Mercury's moving into the chatty sign of Gemini. Gemini here is in your 6th house. So that is a great time now throughout the rest of the month to communicate with your peers and have whatever talks you need to have there. We talked a little bit about streamlining, but also to find the information that you need for your health, for example, dieting and so forth. So on the 11th, between the 11th and the 18th, we got a whole week there, which is going to be a little bit like this. Okay, so hang in here. One day's up, and the next day you're going to be challenged, then you're up again, you're going to be challenged. So if you get it and get it right and you're forewarned, well, then you will see it before it really even happens. So you won't go into this trigger happy reaction phase, right? Because Mars is really feisty this month. You know, it has Uranus on the one end and Pluto on the other. And hey, listen, that's just, you know, fire and ammunition. And it's tectonic plates shifting and volcanoes going off. So since we have all of this and now we throw Venus in, Venus is love. And those you relate to, the values that are important to you, they're going to be at odds on the 11th. So when they're in this opposition, well, you're not really seeing eye to eye. And then there's a miscommunication also taking place here on the 11th. For you, this is going to be between the 4th house and 10th house for you. So between a family member, a family situation, and a work situation, this is coming in. And the communication that's going to be a little foggy is between your 5th house, so some creative factor, either that has been promised or is in the process of being promised. And it might be the way you take it, or if you're promising somebody else, or they think you're promising. This is where it can go get a little airy, because it may not sound or come across the way it was intended. This will be challenged here on the 14th, and here we go. You said, he said, she said, and Venus and Pluto are going to go up against each other. So, but Mercury is in a good trine to Mars, so the best way to clear this up is do it right away. Don't let it sit and fester, because then it can come up out there on the 14th. So make sure on the 12th or 13th that you clear out whatever miscommunication. Then you'll be okay. And then the 15th is really good. We've just had that full moon on your Saturn in the 11th house. Now the 15th is coming in with a good communication where Mercury and Venus are happy. You know, they're in agreement. Mercury's also really happy with whatever change is being initiated here on the 15th. So there's great news, unexpected news here on the 15th, also because Venus now is conjunct Uranus. Now, for some of you, this can be excellent news, something that you've been waiting for. Now, it all depends, of course, where you have it. You know, in your birth chart, you might have other planets coming up, you know, jeopardizing it. But for the transits on this day alone in your solar chart should be really good. And then I want you to hang on to your horses. Why? Because you're happy on the 15th with this. But then on the 18th, you're going to be challenged with it. And how can that be? Well, Uranus came in with a shift, which is shifting your consciousness. And then the very same Venus is going to be squaring Jupiter. Now, Jupiter is all about truth, and it is about expansion. And so they're squaring each other. So the thing is, Jupiter wants to ask you, how much do you really want this? Are you ready for it? And if so, then you're good to go here. By the 24th, something has streamlined, opened up a door. The sun is now into Gemini, so communication is easier, more open. One is relating a little bit more. And then I see some contractual agreements here between the 24th and 28th that can behoove you. And then we have Mercury moving into the sign of Cancer, which for you will be into your partnership house, where it's going to be for the month of June. So you could have some very good communications and sharings and interactions here, and being on the same page as well. So June is looking great, and especially because we're closing off this month with the Sun and Mars in a beautiful golden trine. So this shows that you're quite energetic, you're moving ahead. Now we're coming out of this whole big grand square, which April initiated and which May now is closing on. So I'm feeling that you have now pushed through with these major choices that you knew that you had to take, or that also somebody was taking on your behalf. But it should now at least, you know, open that door so you can start looking ahead and feeling the accomplishment of all of this. So I'm excited to see June for you. I've already started my sneak peek and it's looking good. So for this month, stay happy, stay focused, and know that yes, the process is great. And I will see you next month. So do go listen to your moon and rising sign and take care for now.